torch, Jeanette, Isabella, bring a torch to the cradle run. It is Jesus, good folk of the village, Christ is born, and Mary's calling up. Ah, beautiful is the mother. Ah, beautiful is her son. It is wrong when the child is sleeping. It is wrong to talk so loud. Silence all as you gather around him, lest your noise should awaken Jesus. Hush, hush, see how fast he slumbers. Hush, hush, see how fast he sleeps. Hasten now, good folk of the village, hasten now, the Christ child to see. You will find him asleep in the manger. Quietly come and whisper softly, hush, hush, peacefully now he slumbers. Hush, hush, peacefully now he sleeps. Softly to the little stable, softly for a moment come. Look and see how charming is Jesus, how he's so small, his cheeks are rosy. Hush, hush, see how the child is sleeping. Hush, hush, see how he smiles in dreams. Bring a torch to Isabella. Bring a torch to the cradle. Run. It is Jesus, good folk of the village. Christ is born, and
Welcome. Welcome to First Parish at Needham, a Unitarian Universalist congregation of humanists, theists, atheists, agnostics, and interfaith families. We are a proud LGBTQ welcoming congregation, climate justice seeking green sanctuary, level 2 sanctuary supporting congregations for immigration and justice, and 8th principle congregation striving to dismantle racism and other oppressions and build a diverse, multicultural community. Whoever you are, whatever your background, and wherever you're participating from, you are welcome here. A special welcome to anyone who is new to First Parish. We hope you'll decide to come back and join us again. Please join us today also at Social Hour. We meet for coffee or tea and fellowship in the parish hall after the service. Just follow the crowd. I'd like to recognize the youth group alum who are here today. They'll be participating in our service. Welcome to you all, and thank you for your time. It's much appreciated. I'm Leslie Ross-Degnan. My husband Dennis and I are happy to be part of this warm and welcoming community. When we first arrived in Needham, it seemed like many of the interesting people that we met attended this church. So of course, I had to come and investigate. And well, I'm still here, and many of you have become very good friends. Of course, it was easy to get involved in committees. That's as expected in a UU community. And as a retired educator, I thought it would be suitable for me to join the Continuing Education Committee. I've enjoyed working with this group of committed and hardworking people in the past few years. I also chair the Social Hour Committee with Muriel Gaiman. We're currently busy reorganizing Social Hour and our committee. The pandemic put us on pause for a while, so I'm making a plea here for new members to join us in bringing some fresh energy and ideas for getting Social Hour, back up to speed again. We're especially in need of Sunday morning volunteers to help with setup. We had a nice crew in the kitchen this morning. So it'd be setup, cleanup, or providing snacks, munchies to go with your coffee or tea. There's a sign up on Sign Up Genius for volunteers. So if you receive that email, please sign up. If not, and you'd like to volunteer, you can see the link in the bell notes or speak to Muriel or I at Social Hour. We'd be happy to sign you up. Our congregation offers worship and programming with in-person, hybrid, and online gatherings. You can learn more about all that's happening at First Parish by going to our website, uuneedham.org, or by following us on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Our order of service is online too, at the QR code in your pews and at the website uuneedham.updates.church. For all Zoom links and the most up-to-date information, please sign up for our weekly email newsletter by going to our website and clicking Get Involved Newsletter, or send your request to office@uuneedham.org. Welcome again to everyone, here in this building and online, and good morning.
Good morning. My name is Evan Long. I've been coming here with my family for many years and been in the RE program, but I just graduated from high school in May, and now I've become a part of the local 103 IBEW, the Electrical Union in Boston, and I'm grateful to have found something I love to do so young. But I'm here to read our chalice lighting. So as we light our chalice, symbol of our Unitarian Universalist faith, we read words from retired Euro-American UU minister, Reverend Arlen Goff. Thresholds, we cross them every day, from room to room, from outside to inside and back again, from here to there, from anywhere to everywhere, from age to age. Each threshold offers an opportunity for change, for renewal, for transformation, from what we were and what we are to what we can be. In this hour and in this place, we cross a threshold from our day-to-day everydayness into space and time attuned to the other, to the sacred, to the holy, into an awareness of new life, pregnant with possibilities. Thank you.
Thank you, Evan. Our opening hymn, Enter, Rejoice, and Come In, was written by 20th century composer Louise Raspuni, who based the first verse of the hymn on the biblical Psalm 100. Please rise in body or in spirit and join in singing verses 1 through 4 of Enter, Rejoice, and Come In from your orders of service and at your gray hymnals at number 361.
Please join me in reciting our covenant. We gather as a loving community to encourage and comfort one another. We gather as a diverse community to support each other in our search for spiritual truth. We gather as a service community to live our beliefs through action and care for our world.
The month of January is named for Janus, the ancient Roman god of beginnings and endings, births and deaths, gates and doorways, and transitions, and time itself. Typically depicted with two faces, Janus is always looking backward and forward simultaneously. This morning, at the start of January, we take time to rejoice in the coming of new babies and to mourn the losses of our members, friends, and family who have died in the past year. It is our congregation's tradition to begin the new year both looking ahead and looking back. Those of you here in the building may have been offered note cards when you arrived, yellow note cards to write down births in your families and green note cards to write down deaths in your families. If you haven't dropped those off with me and Sarah Elizabeth yet, or you didn't get cards, you can come up here and come on up.
Yeah, come on up.
Come on.
Come get some cards, everybody.
Cards. It's totally fine.
We need your names.
We need names.
Yes, there are also some cards over here. There's also a little, we've got them. Do the green cards go to me?
Yes.
Oh, I get the yellow cards. Reverend Katie gets the green cards.
That's true. And for those of you who are participating online, you were asked to submit the names of loved ones who were born or who died in 2022 in an email to me. If you didn't manage to do that, if you didn't get to it, didn't see it, please type the name of your loved one into the chat box so those of you who are on YouTube and Zoom together can hold those people in their hearts. We will also share 2 responsive readings as part of this ritual, and both are available in your orders of service and at the back of the gray hymnal.
I'm going to vamp for a second to let people finish getting their cards where they need to go. Again, green cards go to Reverend Katie, and I'm going to start reading our wonderful yellow cards. First, we celebrate the births. These are the names of those who have been born or adopted as children and grandchildren into our community this past year. Wells Community. Lily Gelkowski, Clementine Catamount, Deanan Lehman, Logan Singh Shergill, Clark Joseph Brumet. Let us now read this responsive reading from retired Euro-American UU minister George Kimmett Beach in the orders of service and at number 717 in the back of your gray hymnals. I will read the plain type, and you all here in the building and at home will respond with Reverend Katie in the italicized type. New life comes to us as a gift.
Each new life makes its demand, exacts our attentiveness, enlists and organizes our energies, and blesses us. May we be worthy of the gift and glad receivers of the blessing.
New life appeals to us.
Each new life is helpless and so calls forth our help, is weak and so calls forth our strength, is innocent and so calls forth our wisdom. May we be wise in our strength and ever strong in our help.
New life grows.
Each new life ventures first words, first steps, first essays in the art of living. Each grows, ever surpassing the life that was, for the life that shall be. May we patiently wait and watch in wonder.
New life bears untold promise.
Each new life has a story to tell, and we shall listen. Each new life goes forth from us, laying the child's sovereign claim on whole realms of being we had called our own.
God of grace, may they be blessed, whatever the pathways they follow, whatever the life they claim as their own. And because life continues on despite our schedules, and births happen this way anyways, we'll also add the name of Fiona Mitchell Heller. Amen to new children and new blessings in our world.
And now we remember those who have died in our community and in our community's families this past year. Mary Lewandowski, Clifford Christensen, Rob Barker, Kevin Grealish, Jeanette Anderson, Jim Sargent, Janie Chudy, Joyce Slayton, Peter Sachs, Eva Marie Lillage, Ted Ballard, Deborah Heller, Craig Feiss, Ellie Johnson, Mike Riccio, Judith Warren, Maggie, and Carolyn Murray, Susie Gerald, Kathy Motley, Peter Nichols, Paul Brown, Harvey Shane, Steve Pooley, Maureen Traynor, Marion Leberveau, Nancy Bryant, Jeff Austrian, Kay Taylor, Sue Stevenson, Lee McFadden, Now let us read the responsive reading from 20th century Jewish Rabbi Roland Gittleson in your orders of service and at number 720 in the back of your gray hymnals. I will read the plain type, and you all and Sarah Elizabeth will respond with the italicized type. We remember them. In the rising of the sun and in its going down, we remember them.
In the blowing of the wind and in the chill of winter, we remember them.
In the opening of buds and in the rebirth of spring, we remember them.
In the blueness of the sky and in the warmth of summer, we remember them.
In the rustling of leaves and in the beauty of autumn, we remember them.
In the beginning of the year and when it ends, we remember them.
When we are weary and in need of strength, we remember them.
When we are lost and sick at heart, we remember them.
When we have joys we yearn to share, we remember them.
So long as we live, they too shall live, for they are now a part of us as we remember them.
Many thanks to each and all of you for holding this special sacred space when we take time for remembrance. May we not forget those who have died and our pain at their loss, nor forget the wild joy at welcoming new precious children into our midst. May we work together to co-create a better world in honor of our ancestors and for the benefit of the next generation. May this all be so. Amen. As our children follow Sarah Elizabeth in the light of our chalice to religious exploration, please join in singing Long Time Son as in your orders of service.
May the long time sun shine upon you. All love surround you, and the pure light within you guide your way on. May the long time sun shine upon you. All love surround you, and the pure light within you guide your way on.
So now is the time in our service where we share our joys and concerns that are close to our hearts and our lives. If you can't be in the sanctuary with us today or on any Sunday and would like a candle lit, please email me a pre-submitted candle by Thursday at midnight before the service, and we'll read it aloud during this ritual. I'd like to remind us all that our service live streamed to YouTube, and we cannot guarantee that your joys, concerns, sorrows, and milestones will be kept within our parish community. So you're always welcome to reach out to Reverend Katie, to myself, or to our pastoral care associate, who this week is Helen Lane, for pastoral care and to share more privately. We have a couple pre-submitted candles today. The first comes from Lynn Jakowski, and it's a candle of joy at the birth of her grandniece, her brother's grandchild, Una McKinnon Love. Welcome to the world, Una. We are so glad you're here. I will light a candle for her. Our second pre-submitted candle comes from Becky Siebens, a candle of sorrow and yet gratitude for the life of her sweet brother-in-law who died unexpectedly this week, or several weeks ago actually now, of complications of Parkinson's disease. He was the most gentle and generous of souls, quietly creative and blessed with a marvelous, quirky sense of humor, a beautiful man. We light a candle. And now, if those of you in the sanctuary have a joy or concern you'd like to share, I invite you to come up. And for people online, if you would like to type into the chat box your joys and concerns to share with your online community.
Hi, I'm Claire Galkowski, and I have a concern. Jan had another fall last month. We were hiking in the woods, which was a beautiful thing, and a root jumped out in front of him and tripped him and put him in the hospital for a few days. So this has been a bit of a setback after a rough year. So, you know, he continues to recover, but I just wanted to share that. And thank you all for your ongoing support.
Good morning, I'm Susan Commuty. Excuse me. My brother Peter, who I hadn't seen for 25 years, got back in touch recently. He has major, major cancer in several parts of his body. He was supposed to have surgery on Friday, but his surgeon got COVID. So now it's delayed after they had done all the pre-surgical stuff. So I don't know when it'll be, sometime in the next few weeks, but can you just keep him in your thoughts? Thank you.
Hi, I'm Jen Duhamel, and I have the joy that after a long and complicated search, my wife and I will be moving on February 1st to a place that we could never have even dreamed. It's like if you wrote down where you would be your dream place to live, this would be it. So we're very excited and happy. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Elliot Chakowski. I have 2 candles of joy. Would like to thank everyone for the outpouring of love and support for my wife, Lynn, who is recovering from back surgery. She's had an overwhelming number of good wishes and lots of food, which I've also appreciated. So thank you very much. The other is a candle of joy for George Ganacanto, who was recently hospitalized with viral meningitis. He is out of the hospital and is doing quite well, is finishing his course of antiviral medication, but is doing very well.
Hello, I'm Peter DiMarzio. I've lit 2 candles for concern. One is for my wife's mother, who passed away the week before Christmas. And it's just to give strength to the family. Her sister and her haven't really talked to each other in almost 15 years. And her mom's last gift to them was to unite them and bring them back together. Sorry. My other concern is for my daughter, who's 38. During this whole time that we were dealing with her mom, My daughter had a really rare disease that we discovered when we hadn't been able to reach her for some time. And turns out she's 38. She ended up having a TIA, which is like a mini stroke. And then we also learned she also had a thing called HSV encephalitis, which is like a herpes simplex virus. Instead of breaking out like in a cold sore, the infection went to her brain. So she was in the hospital for a little over a week. She's home now, recovering. She's still requiring IV bags for the next 2 weeks, but just asking for strength and to keep her in your thoughts and prayers.
Hi, I'm Christy Kochi, and as you can see, I have badly sprained my ankle, so this is one of concern, but also more of gratitude. This happened on Tuesday, and while I'm stuck in this boot for another 5 weeks, it's not broken, and I don't need surgery, and I am just amazed at how strong our medical system is in this area, that I was quickly able to get it treated and diagnosed and know what the path of recovery is, that I've had so many friends step up to help with driving and walking the dog, that my 2 kids are volunteering to clean the kitchen. And I've never really thought about how wonderful it is that so many buildings have ADA accessible features, but I am definitely appreciating it now. So it's gonna be a rough January, and I'm for once glad we don't have snow, but it could be a lot worse.
For these and all the joys and sorrows that lie on our hearts, we light a final candle. Please join me in the spirit of prayer and meditation with these words from Queer UU Minister of Color, Reverend Linda Susan Ulrich. Be mindful of your breathing. Close your eyes or soften your gaze, and invite your body to become comfortable, however your body is at rest right now. Take Reverend Ulrich's words as a guided metaphoric meditation. Open up the doors, push on looming wooden arches embroidered with ironwork. Brace your shoulders against the weight of history unmoved. Slough off the musty smell of unused joy and stored up sorrow. Knock rust off the hinges if you have to, and let your breath precede you inside. Open the doors more. Make room for a shaft of sunlight to cross the threshold. Give the dust motes something to dance about. Peek through a single slice of possibility and name even the half-hidden truths you see. Open the doors wider still. Pour yourself through the gap. Strut or sneak or sidle as suits you best. Cleanse whatever scrapes catch your skin and bind up the wounds that keep you from entering whole. Open the doors as far as they will go. Draw on the strength of the stones beneath you. Ground yourself in a firm sense of who you are. Stand as a beacon welcoming the next seeker, and shine far beyond the lintel and sill. Open all that you are. Heighten and deepen your connections to the world around you, and broaden your definition of neighbor. Grow into the largest target for grace that you can muster, and pray to become a gateway for even greater love and compassion. Open up the doors, my friends, lest we keep the stranger out and condemn ourselves to prisons of our own making. Amen. Please remain seated and join in singing our meditative response, Blessed Spirit of My Life. The lyrics are in your orders of service and can also be found at number 86 in your gray hymnals.
This congregation has been supported by the volunteered time and treasure of its members and friends since its founding in 1711. This is the time in our service when we, the modern stewards of the church, offer what we can to build and sustain the congregation and the world we envision. This month, our collections are being split 50-50 with diverse Revolutionary Unitarian Universalist Multicultural Ministries, or DRUM. DRUM is a Unitarian Universalist people of color ministry and anti-racist collective bringing together lay leaders and religious professionals to overcome racism through resistance and to transform Unitarian Universalism through their multicultural experiences. As an all-volunteer ministry, DRUM continues to lead efforts for Unitarian Universalism to become a truly anti-racist, anti-oppressive, multicultural denomination. To donate to today's offering, you can use one of 3 different methods as described in detail in your orders of service. You can use our text to give number program through the number 73256. You can make a donation through our website, uuneedham.org, or you can drop a check or cash into the collection plate or mail a check to First Parish at 23 Dedham Avenue. Whichever way you donate, remember to specify whether your donation is meant for the plate collection or for your annual pledge. Thank you for everything you are able to give to support and sustain this congregation and the vital work of our community partners. And many thanks to Leslie Ross Degnan for our beautiful flowers to start off this fresh new year. May the ushers please come forward.
I'm gonna be
Ready, 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 you're ready to run. All I'm ready to do is have some fun. What's all this talk about love? Feel the wind blow through my hair. I'm gonna be ready this time. I'd buy a ticket to anywhere. I'm gonna be ready this time. It feels like I'm starting to care. I'm gonna be ready this time. Ready, 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 you're ready to run. All I'm ready to do is have some fun. What's all this talk about love? Ready, 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 you're ready to run. All I'm ready to do is have some fun. What's all this talk about love? Ready to run. Ready to run. Oh, ready to run. I'm ready.
Good morning. My name is Katie Robbins, and I graduated last year from Needham High School. I'm currently a freshman at The Ohio State University, and I'm studying psychology and Spanish. Our reading this morning comes from 20th century Irish poet and philosopher John O'Donohue. It's an excerpt from his book, To Bless the Space Between Us. Within the grip of winter, it is almost impossible to imagine the spring. The gray parish landscape is shorn of color. Only bleakness meets the eye. Everything seems severe and edged. Winter is the oldest season. It has some quality of the absolute. Yet beneath the surface of winter, the miracle of spring is already in preparation. The cold is relenting, seeds are wakening up. Colors are beginning to imagine how they will return. Then, imperceptibly, somewhere one bud opens, and the symphony of renewal is no longer reversible. From the monochrome heart of winter, a miraculous breathing plenitude of color emerges. Change arrives in nature when time has ripened. There are no dragged transitions or crude discontinuities. This accounts for the sureness with which one season succeeds another. It is as though they were moving forward in a rhythm set from within a continuum. To change is one of the great dreams of every heart. To change the limitations, the sameness, the banality, or the pain. So often, we look back on patterns of behavior, the kind of decisions we make repeatedly and that have failed to serve us well, and we aim for a new and more successful path or way of living. But change is difficult for us. So often, we opt to continue the old pattern rather than risking the danger of difference. We're also often surprised by change that seems to arrive out of nowhere. We find ourselves crossing some new threshold we had never anticipated. Like spring secretly at work within the heart of winter. Below the surface of our lives, huge changes are in fermentation. We never suspect a thing. Then, when the grip of some long-enduring winter mentality begins to loosen, we find ourselves vulnerable to a flourish of possibility, and we are suddenly negotiating the challenge of a threshold. At any time, you can ask yourself, at which threshold am I now approaching? At this time in my life, what am I leaving? Where am I able to enter? What is preventing me from crossing my next threshold? What gift would enable me to do it? To acknowledge and cross a new threshold is always a challenge. It demands courage and also a sense of trust in whatever is emerging. Each life is a mystery that is never finally available to the mind's light or questions. That we are here is a huge affirmation. Somehow life needed us and wanted us to be. To sense and trust this primeval acceptance can open a vast spring of trust within the heart. It can free us into a natural courage that casts out fear and opens up our lives to become voyages of discovery, creativity, and compassion. No threshold need be a threat, but rather an invitation and a promise. Here ends our reading.
For a New Beginning by John Donahue. In out-of-the-way places of the heart, where your thoughts never think to wander, this beginning has been quietly forming, waiting until you were ready to emerge. For a long time it has watched your desire, feeling the emptiness growing inside you, noticing how you willed yourself on, still unable to leave what you had outgrown. It watched you play with the seduction of safety and the gray promises that sameness whispered, heard the waves of turmoil rise and relent, wondered would you always live like this. Then the delight, when your courage kindled, and out you stepped onto new ground, your eyes young again with energy and dream, a path of plenitude opening before you. Though your destination is not yet clear, you can trust the promise of this opening. Unfurl yourself into the grace of beginning that is at one with your life's desire. Awaken your spirit to adventure, hold nothing back. Learn to find ease and risk. Soon you will home in a new rhythm, for your soul senses the world that awaits you. For your soul senses the world that awaits you. For your soul senses the world that awaits you.
Many thanks to our youth alum and to John O'Donohue for those beautiful readings. Nearly 10 years ago in the summer of 2013, Cole and I found ourselves in the wedding season, a 3-year period during which it seemed all of our friends were getting married all at once. At its height, we attended 10 weddings in 1 year. In July of 2013, we had in fact been invited to 2 weddings, exactly 3 weeks apart, one at Kenyon College in Gambier, Ohio, and the other in downtown Denver, Colorado. These 2 places, you may know, are not geographically close to one another, and little Gambier, Ohio does not have an airport close by. Working out the costs, it would be a 4-figure amount to fly to both of these weddings and rent a car for each of the weekends. So we did what any clergy teacher couple with no dependents at the time would do, which was leave Massachusetts for the entire month of July and road trip all the way to Colorado and back. Along the way, we visited far-flung family and friends and car camped in some of our nation's most spectacular national parks, the Badlands, Black Hills, Yellowstone, Grand Tetons, Bryce Canyon, and the Grand Canyon. And while in Wyoming, I took Cole on his first ever whitewater rafting trip on the Snake River with Class 3 out of 4 rapids. For those of you who have been on a whitewater rafting expedition, you remember it's quite thrilling, like being on Disney World's Splash Mountain, but you're in partial control of the boat and there's a real risk of serious injury. I've been thinking about that whitewater rafting trip because at last summer's Ministry Days conference, a UU colleague preached about her own experience with whitewater rafting. She reminded me of the cardinal rules of whitewater rafting and how pertinent they are to where we are globally today in the ongoing chaos of the climate crisis, the triple-demic, political upheavals and war, and just here at First Parish, an autumn of death and loss none of us were remotely prepared for. The first rule of whitewater rafting is always wear your helmet and life jacket just in case you fall out, but preferably stay in the boat. Let your body be flexible to the ups and downs of the journey because to be rigid is to risk falling out. Look out for your fellow passengers. They're often family, and even when they're not, you need them to help steer the boat. Listen to your guide, who may be very young, but definitely has more expertise about staying alive on the rapids than you or any other passenger does. And keep your head up and your eyes on the rapids just ahead. They aren't bad guidelines for entering a new year. Keep your protective gear handy, stay flexible, look out for one another, listen to your guides, and keep your head up and eyes on the prize. As we heard in our Chalice Lighting from Reverend Arlen Goff, each threshold offers an opportunity for change, for renewal, for transformation, from what we were and what we are to what we can be. The new year will be full of change, as every year is, and we can choose to set ourselves up for renewal and transformation individually and collectively with our everyday choices. 20th century American Ghanaian sociologist, educator, and civil rights leader W.E.B. Du Bois offered this prayer to the Black students he worked with. Teach us, O God, that now is the accepted time, not tomorrow, not some more convenient season. It is today that our best work can be done, and not some future day or future year. It is today we fit ourselves for greater usefulness of tomorrow. Today is the seed time. Today, each moment is a threshold, is a rapid we navigate, and we choose how to behave on the raft. Staying flexible and wearing our metaphorical helmets are essential to keeping ourselves safer on the journey. We look out for our fellow passengers because they are inherently worthy of love, justice, and peace, just as we are. Listening to our guides, our values, and how others in our community are interpreting and living out our values ensures our means don't compromise our ends. And we must keep our heads up to keep our vision of beloved community in our sight, regardless of how bumpy the ride might be to get there. In one of our readings this morning from John O'Donohue, he recognized that to acknowledge and cross a threshold is always a challenge, but that challenge is unavoidable. There are springs wintering within each of us and within collective society. So as John O'Donohue recommended, at any time we can ask ourselves, which threshold am I now approaching? At this time in my life, what am I leaving? Where am I about to enter? What is preventing me from crossing my next threshold? What gift would enable me to do it? What do you think as we enter this fresh new year? Which threshold are we approaching? What are we leaving? Where are we about to enter? What is preventing us from crossing our next threshold? What gifts would enable us to cross? I'm striving to keep my head up and my eyes downriver, though I carry in my heart all the lives and dreams that were lost or delayed last year. I strive to carry forward the lessons those lives and dreams have blessed me with. I'm striving to remember that ahead we pray that we'll come to a better world. I'm striving to remember that we are on the raft together and that our gifts we share with one another and our larger community will help us steer toward that better world. And so we return to O'Donohue's blessing for new beginnings. May we awaken our spirits to adventure, hold nothing back, learn to find ease in risk. Soon we will home in a new rhythm, for our souls sense the world that awaits us. May this be so. Blessed be, and amen.
As we approach the close of our service, we have a few announcements. As always, please do join us for fellowship time after the service. If you're here with us in the sanctuary, we'll be gathering in Parish Hall. If you're online, please go to the Zoom link in the bell notes and join in the online fellowship time. In January, the Green Congregation Committee will be collecting new and gently used pots, pans, and cookware for Welcome Home in Newton, which provides high-quality household items at no cost to families experiencing hardship. Please donate pots, pans, and cookware, such as bakeware and casseroles, free of stains, rust, or deep scratches. Donations can be dropped off in Parish Hall at Social Hour on January 15 and 22nd, or in a collection bin that will be in the hall from January 8th to January 22nd. Make a New Year's resolution to clean out your kitchen. We're excited to announce that our religious educator, Sarah Elizabeth, will be leading a monthly children's book club for adults. One Monday evening each month, all are invited to come read and discuss children's books that are connected to our Unitarian Universalist values. While children are, of course, welcome to join us, the program is intended for any adult interested in how children's literature can help us realize a better world. Parents, grandparents, teachers, all are welcome. This month, in honor of the Martin Luther King holiday and to prepare for Black History Month, we're going to be looking at stories focused on Black history. You can find more information, including dates, later this week in your bell notes and on our website. Our grief and loss support group meets today at 12:30. The Zoom link is in the bell notes. A quick reminder of our standard weekly events. On Thursdays, there's Writing Escapes in the morning, Vespers in the afternoon, and Meditation Ministries in the evening. And on Friday mornings, there's Creative Escapes. Please keep an eye out for communications from First Parish that keep you up to date on what's happening in our community. And we encourage you to sign up for the bell notes if you haven't already. It's full of ways to get connected and involved here at First Parish. And I've got one more announcement, and it is to encourage you all to invite your neighbors and friends to church. We have so much here to offer our community and this broken world, and the only way people find out about us is because you tell them and invite them. So remember how much you love the community and invite your friends to church. So, as we extinguish our chalice, please join me from home or here in the building in saying together these words written by Unitarian Universalist minister Reverend Elizabeth Selly Jones. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, nor the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again. Our closing hymn, Ring Out Wild Bells, has lyrics excerpted from 19th century British poet laureate Alfred Lord Tennyson. From his long poem, In Memoriam, written for a dear friend who had died quite young. The music comes from 20th century English musician and educator, Sir Percy Carter Buck. Please rise in body or in spirit and join in singing Ring Out Wild Bells as the lyrics are in your orders of service and at number 58 in the gray hymnal.
The flying
As we close our service today with great gratitude in our hearts for our wonderful youth alum, please take these words from Japanese-American UU minister Reverend Leslie Takahashi as a benediction. All that we have ever loved and all that we have ever been supports us on the brink of all we aspire to create. A deeper peace, a larger love, a more embracing hope, a deeper joy in this life we share. Nurtured by our ancestors and by our community, may we offer our gifts this year for peace, for love, for hope, and for joy. Our service begins when our service ends. Blessed be, and amen.